You're watching Tech Talk in affiliation with Tethertex. We're a community that supports independent trade with the help of vendors and distributors. We're live every Thursday at 8 p.m. London time, and we'll be streaming to Facebook and YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Google, TuneIn, and many more. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, and your host, Philip Griffiths.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tethertex Tech Talk. This is an IT podcast or show where we help your IT business grow. And before anyone says anything, we know that Cormac was late to get married. No, actually, what I was going to say was, obviously, at the pre-roll, we do know that we got the TechMax adverts still up. They will be coming down for the next show, and we'll get those updated. So, because obviously that's already passed. So today we are going to be talking about TechMax as well as quite a few other things as well. But we'll start off with that in a few minutes. But today we've got 3 guests on the show. We've got Alison, Cormac, and Will. So I'll let Alison go first and introduce herself and let us know if she's got any tips or stories or advice to give us. So Alison, if you want to head off.
Yes. Hello, I'm Alison Cook. I'm co-director owner of East Anglian Data Recovery. We're a specialist data recovery company based in Norfolk. My tip of the day is follow up, and it's a little bit probably connected to the show, but any inquiries that you get in, make sure that you pick them up and go with them really quickly, because people do go off the boil. You work really hard to get your leads in. Don't let the phone go unanswered. We have been very, very lucky with the cards that we collected from the show for people dropping by the stand, because we were one of the exhibitors at TechMax. And fortunately, for the fast follow-ups, we have managed to work with some new clients already from the show. So great news for us, but all down to the follow-up, guys. Keep it nice and swift after your quotes and things go out.
Okay, that's brilliant. Good start from Alison there. What about yourself, Cormac? Have you got any tips or stories, or introduce yourself first of all for anyone who doesn't know you. I don't think there's not many people who don't know who you are these days, but introduce yourself anyway.
Well, I'm Cormac from Crosshaven Computers, the self-proclaimed King of Ireland, because I'm on with Will, the King of Scotland, and the Queen of England herself, and Phil. So
just Phil.
Just Phil there as well, just Phil. No, that's a good tip from Alison. My tip really is I've seen from talking to people at TechMax, some people aren't that busy at the moment, and I remember when COVID first hit, I called into business during the very first lockdown. Obviously, we were allowed out and about. And this was a clothing business. And I remember the guys, it was just him. All the staff was gone home. It was his business. And I remember saying, Steve, how are you managing it? And he goes, you know what? It gives me time to do some under the hood stuff, which meant, changes, procedures, and just look, we're all too busy. And we are all very busy at times. So we're busy at the moment, but we're not busy with residential. So I can't say I have time on my hands, but I have a little bit more time on my hands. So this is the time to look at maybe your website or certain things that you're doing. Like I'm trying to launch my shop from my website, and so at this if people are quiet, we're going to be busy again very soon. So it's a good time to look at your business and look at things, like we'll say, Will and me, Synchro. Maybe it's a time to learn more about Synchro. Maybe it's time to learn about. So when it gets busy again, you can hit the ground running, with new information. Time to do up that website. A lot of people, like, I only done up my website last year, but it was 3 or 4 years I didn't do a tin to it, and it has paid off a lot by doing up the website. So, this, instead of us looking at it, maybe this is a quiet time. This is a great time to do stuff, So, yeah, do stuff under the hood, maybe.
Yeah, totally agree with you there, Cormac. Even getting things ready for like back to school marketing and even Christmas or whatever, or if you're doing any sort of sales or any other events or anything like that, get ready for it. Get it done now. Saves you messing around in a few months when you are busy and you haven't got time to do it. So yeah. Second thing for you, Cormac, why is it you're trying to look like Princess Leia at the moment?
Yeah, so it's always been a fetish of mine. Well, I just made that weird there, but yeah, I'm sticking to that. It's a fetish of mine. All right. Yeah, don't talk to me about my headphones at the moment. We're having a bit of issues there, but Phil gave me a bit of tech support, which I think he's quite rightly going to bill me for as well,
There you go. Yeah, it was basically plug it in, and that was it. But right, let's just quickly go through chat before we go on to Will. So Kunal saying, evening, everyone. Sanjay's basically saying the same thing. So hi, guys. We've got a Facebook user who just made it. If you haven't already, tap that link in what I've put in the little ticker at the bottom, what's going across the screen, and it'll allow your name to be shown. We've got Neo Computer, so hi guys there. We've got Lee Lewis as well, and Raheem saying, agreeing with basically Cormac, going on about the standard operating procedures need to be implemented during quiet times like this. So yeah, totally agree there. And we've got Newtown IT Solutions saying evening as well. Again, guys, if you are watching and you haven't commented or anything like that, feel free to comment, name your business, and I'll give you a shout out. So let's move on to Will, or Mr. Nice Guy, or Nice Guy of the tech industry, apparently. Yeah, so I think everyone agrees on that one. So, Will, if
that's my other name. Yeah, I'm Will from Consumertec, based in Dunfermline, near Scotland. Dunfermline near Edinburgh, I would say. It's a sort of story I've got tonight. Not a story, but did you know? For the MSP side of it, I was reading some news stories about tech, and the managed service provider, Kaseya, I think that's how you pronounce it, or Kaseya has bought over Datto services, but it's the sheer volume of the cost. They've paid $6.2 billion to buy this company, and that's a big company now. Kaseya own IT Glue, Rapid Fire Tools, Rocket Cyber, Backup Solutions. They're buying up everything at the moment, and it's just the sheer volume of that amount of money. £6.2 billion to buy $1 billion Datto, which was a good service. Datto, I've used them myself for backup solutions and RMM tools and things like that. But it's where's it going to stop? Where's the line that companies are going to, this Kaseya company is going to buy up the whole world of RMM tools and for MSPs and things like that. It's just, I'm gobsmacked at that, and I just wondered what the thoughts of the group were. I know it's not a tip as such, but it's more of a oh my god story. And yeah, I agree with Alison and Phil. If you've got time in your hands and out, update your SOPs. And Alison raises a good point, and I've let people down myself with this. We're not keeping on top of leads or forgetting about something or not writing it down, and you get back to them a week later and you've lost the chance here and things like that. So it's very important to keep on top of them. But yeah, just a mind-blowing sum of money, 6.2 billion.
6.2 billion. That's great. And they were the people who were hit last year. Weren't they hit?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and they were hit with a cyber intrusion. Yeah, it's. I mean, but the thing is, I've always said to people as well that these people that get hit cyber attacks, they're probably going to be the most secure companies to go with now, because they've experienced that and they've put in place to hopefully prevent things like that happening again. But I mean, yeah, it's just unbelievable, eh? $6.2 billion. So
they obviously see that
$6.2 billion.
They obviously see that there's so much money in it.
Advert tonight as well. his latest
I think
advert
that's
with.
pocket change for the King of Ireland, don't you?
Oh yeah, I mean that's just pocket change. Yeah, I know.
On about the King
But,
of Ireland, it looks like we've got someone else from Ireland on the show. So,
very nice,
watching,
Jack.
so you've got
We got
Sean.
Sean at Tech.
So there's more than one person in Ireland then, is
Oh,
there?
there is. Sean knows his stuff as well. Yes, I sent him to Will. I said, Will, stay intelligent, whatever.
Oh yeah,
Go over and talk to Will.
Thanks. No, Cormac, you've done a great thing because Sean, I contacted Andy, one of the heads, and Troy. So I believe Andy from Synchro was going to get in contact with Sean. So let me know, Sean, if he has done that. If not,
sweet,
I'll get back in contact with from Synchro.
Okay, sounds pretty
Full
good.
information.
Right, okay, right. Let's just go on back to the chat. So Neo's asking, out of curiosity, what sort of things would you suggest to think about marketing for back to school? Personally, I would usually do bundles, something like a laptop or a bag, and maybe a memory stick or something like that. It's usually the things I need. It's usually, in most cases, cheap stuff, unless you're aiming at university. And then obviously they can have specific needs and so forth. And some of them need really expensive things. So usually bundles of that, or just say something, have big posters. If you've got a store, big posters outside saying back to school items and deals or something like that. You don't even need to really specify sometimes, just to get people's heads in there, and then you can ask them on the needs and go from there.
I would say, sorry, I'll come in this one. I would say about the back to school things is that find out what the local school or local school is pushing a certain type of Chromebook. They made a deal with another company, and we just came in and undercut them because the other company was just ripping them off, and we came in, undercut them, and we're selling them out the door. So maybe go because more computers more schools are just gonna make computers only. So I'm gonna get onto other schools and find out what they're pushing, because the parents are just asking for that brand of computer, they're asking for nothing else, and go in and steal people's lunch. Steal their lunch money.
If they've been issued a certain brand from school, the parents are thinking that's the brand they should use. So, yeah, good point.
Right. Okay. Well, that sounds pretty good. So let's also let's have a look. Next up, we've got Gary saying, hello, everyone. Gary from Wiswood here. Sorry, missed the show. Unfortunately, he got COVID before the show, so he was unable to make it. But at least you're all right now, Gary, I'm presuming. We've also got Raheem saying Zendesk is a great tool for us managing your emails, leads, communications. William, I'm presuming that's for you, Will.
Yeah.
And we've got a few people saying evening all. So you've got George. Hi, guys. We've also got hello from Big Suge. Sorry, I'm murdering that name. Sorry. And we've got Richard Creedy and Neo Computer saying that sounds like it's a good idea. Let's go quickly on to my tip of the day. It's more of a sort of a business advice thing, and I see this quite often. Is people have a store, they say it's quiet, and they do nothing, expecting things to change. And the basics is popular saying, if you change nothing, nothing will change. So you need to sometimes get out there and do things a little bit different to try and attract the customers. I'm not trying to say reinvent the wheel or anything, but change your marketing, do something a little bit different, but make sure you give whatever you're going to do a little bit of time to sink in. Don't expect yourself, let's just say you spend £100 on AdWords or Facebook ads or whatever it may be, expect results within a week. Sometimes, and Cormac said this on past shows, that it can be months before the leads come in, even after you've stopped advertising or doing whatever it may be. So that's my tip of the day.
Can I just add to that, Phil? Sorry. I was going to say, if you are doing any form of marketing, it's often the lurkers. You never know who is watching you online at all times, and they come out of the woodwork. So if you're posting, then there will be people watching, but they just may not respond until they actually need it. So just keep doing it.
Okay, that sounds pretty good.
Good point.
Good point there. Yeah. Right. I think most of the people who are here are for a different subject. So let's go over to the main subject. But before we do that, I've got to do something else first.
Aerocool's high-performance cases enable you to stay on your A-game. Whether it's the Prism or Evo Mini White, show off the inside of your rig with the full tempered glass panels. With RGB lighting and unique sleek designs, these cases are sure to make an impression. Be cool. Get Aerocool.
There we go. So thank you for that, Aerocool. They had some pretty good stuff at TechMax as well, and I think that's the subject we're going to be talking about as well now. Just before we do, hi to Blue Bolt as well, who's just logged in and started watching. So, right. So, first subject. I've actually got 5 subjects to talk about today. A lot of you probably won't know what half of them are. One of you may know what one of them is, maybe. But the first topic is, well, TechMax, how did it go? How did you find the event? We're not talking about ideas for future. I'm asking you, how did you find the event this year? And that goes to the people who were watching as well, if you attended. How did you find it went? Was anything not right? Could have been something been a little bit better? We'll start with you, Alison, because you're the first one on the list. Not putting you on pressure or anything, but obviously you're coming from a vendor's point of view because you stood as a vendor, obviously advertising your business.
Yeah, I mean, as the first exhibition that we'd ever done, we were really impressed with it all. Everything was there we were expecting. Couple of issues with the power first thing, but they were soon rectified. But yeah, I just thought it was really well planned out. We really enjoyed the actual experience itself. The place was nice, parking was fine. Perhaps could have done with a bit more signage outside from the main road to where we needed to get to, but other than that, no complaints at all from here.
Okay, that's pretty good then. Thank you for that. Yeah, one of the things you did mention, though, and we'll make sure we do for a future event, is make sure there's plenty of biscuits in the morning for when you get there.
Yeah, that was true, yeah.
So it was supposed to be set up a little bit different, the way the drinks were, but we had a few slight issues along with, like we did with the power. For the people who don't know what went off, was basically the venue should have set all the power cables up for all the vendors basically the night or the day before. We got there at 6:30 in the morning, and there was one power cable for everyone. So obviously we had to get on them right away, and they had to go around and get all the power cables. Don't get me wrong, they got it sorted in the end, but it was a slight little issue and a panic stations when we first turned up. It was like, uh-oh, no power. This is going to be awkward for a tech show. But thank God that they actually sorted it. So let's just have a quick look what we've got in the chat. So Sanjay say he attended the show, probably needs to be a bigger space for next year. We're looking forward to exhibiting next year, hopefully, as well. So that's good. And that's Sanjay from TechPoint. We've got Russell George here from Lexar. He's here as well. If you're watching, Russell, let us know what you thought of the show, because obviously you were there. We've got George also saying, connected to a lot of companies that has... It's going that fast as chat at the moment. We'll move on to you, Cormac, and we'll come back to the chat. So, Cormac, tell us how you thought
the chat. Lunch took me back to when I spent 6 months in Belmarsh. Anyway, that was not my comment. I'm very impressed. I tell you what, I'll talk about maybe the social bit of it for maybe people who didn't come and stuff. You know, it was one of my first times attending one of these trade shows as well. And like everyone else, there is a bit of social anxiety. Every one of us had a bit of social anxiety going to the show, you know. But that was quickly relaxed because of the group. We kind of like communicate with more people on this group, even just, you know, on Facebook, just text, you know, whatever you call it. So, like, I talk to more people in this group more than I do my own family at times, you know. So that to actually go in and when nerds unite, you know, it was really, that side of it was really, really nice. And to go around and actually talk to people face to face. Spent a lot of time with the nicest man in tech, Will, there. And Raheem, we were outside there for a while and talking and all this, and you know, Alison, and Steve, and meeting Jen and all this sort of stuff. So from the social aspect of it, it was really like it was really, really good. It was like Oracle, the hard drive company went like, it was a Glastonbury for techs, and I really enjoyed that post because there was the train strike and everything, but I was going to that. So never mind the business side, we can talk about that in a while, how good that was for me and the other people. But for the social side, and just to be able to say hello to people was made it all worth its while,
Okay, that sounds pretty good. We will get back to the chat in a few minutes. There's been quite a few things sent in a few seconds, so we'll get back to that. Let's go to Will. So what's your views on the event, Will? What could have been better? What could have been changed? Or
I think maybe the listing of some more hotels, but that's maybe not a tech for tech sort of concern. The hotel I had was awful because there was no air conditioning, but that's again that's not nothing to do with Tech for Tech Max. Going to the show, so I agree with what Cormac said there about social anxiety and things. I was like that myself because I was there myself as well. But because I then bumped into people that you chat with on the show and seen Alison and Cormac himself, Jenny, Phil, it was very relieved of that anxiety. So it was good to see everybody there. I even sat next to a chap on my right hand side at the dinner. His name was Richard Creedy, who I'm chatting with on the messenger back and forth and within the it's Richard. And then I was sitting with Ben and different people like that. So because it's like a big family, the group really. She's looking after her family. It was nice to see people that you chat with, and there's a lot of people that I to catch up with because we were all quite busy and occupied and doing things. So there wasn't any quiet spells. We were occupied. There were things to be doing. The only maybe one thing I would say that wasn't so good is the big walk we had on the outside round for dinner. I don't know, we could have went through the pitch, over the pitch or something. But again, these are things that the organisers like yourself and Jenny are going to find out from people, from feedback. And you can't do everything perfectly, but it was close. So I really also want to thank the organisers and the vendors and things like that, sponsors who done it. It was a good day, good overall day I had. It was worth the travel, the 10.5-hour round travel that I had down. So it was good.
Yeah, okay. Well, totally agree there. Right, let's quickly go through the chat because there's some interesting points come up. Let's have a quick look.
That's a good point by David brought up there from Scorpio.
Yeah, I'm just going all the way back. So here we go. Okay, so we've got George said also connect to a lot of companies. That has helped more products into our stores, which is good. We've got Lee Lewis saying, was a fantastic show. We had a great day. Constant queue, couldn't have asked for any more. Great people and overwhelming response. Definitely need to be bigger for the next show. Encounters in at Replace Base to be exhibiting again and even bigger. And it's cut it off. Even bigger and better. There we go. Next we've got this one coming. Overall, very good. Lunch took me back to when I spent 6 months in Belmarsh, but other than that, nice people. Actually, the lunch should have been a little bit different. We did order stuff, so when I actually went, it should have been rather than sandwich corners, it should have been like bloomer bread and so forth, so a little bit more filling. I didn't realise until halfway through when I went up myself, and I was like, this isn't exactly what we asked for or paid for. So as you can imagine, paying for 400 people to eat for lunch is not cheap, but it wasn't exactly what we asked for. But everyone survived anyway, and you're still alive. That's the main thing. So
still after that comment, it was worth it for that alone.
Exactly. So we've got Facebook saying, hello everyone, can Alison not afford a light bulb? I'll send her some prize if she needs
I switched
money.
it on, Dave, just for you.
So there's always one. We've got Peter saying he wasn't able to make it. She'll get there next year. Suggestion from Neo Computer suggestion next year, Ben Ashcroft must carry a stool or a step for people to stand on next to him. Or either that or you make him kneel down or sit down, but that might look a little bit strange.
They're all comedians tonight, man, aren't they?
I know. Here we go. Let's have a look. Next one. Would have been good if there was food, drink stalls, bigger venue for next year over 2 days. Didn't see a lot of media, TV, YouTubers. Also, some people won multiple prizes. and most got 0. Was an amazing experience. Yeah, totally agree there. Media TV YouTube is a bit of a hard thing because it's not really a consumer-based show, so it doesn't really work for generally most YouTubers. Again, we're not going to be inviting consumer-based YouTubers. This is basically a trade show rather than a consumer-based show like you get a lot, especially in the States or London or whatever like that. But yeah, I do agree there wasn't many of them there. And the prizes, and I've seen a few comments about the prizes actually, that's something we're looking into. We just didn't expect that. Obviously, most of the people who actually won had walked out by the time we called out them, so we had to improvise on the spot. We have got some ideas for that for next year, but any ideas you have, obviously, feel free to shout out. I love TechMax, but I thought maybe the awards that were done a few months ago could be combined into TechMax event, maybe on the evening. David, all I'm going to say is watch this space, okay? I'm not going to say much more than that. We've got an evening to Jamaica. Well, hello to Jamaica. I'm presuming that's Jamaica the country and your name's not Jamaica, but there we go. Let's have a look. We've got Russell from Lexar. So yeah, I thought the show was fantastic. Maybe the giveaways, could have been documented. Yeah, something we're planning on for next year. It was slightly messed up a little bit with obviously a few people not there and the same people being called out. But we've got an idea where multiple people won't, or the same person won't win multiple prizes, which that should be all right in the future. Fingers crossed. Let's have a look. Minimal amount of info for each stand, and then I agree. It's a good idea, Russell. I'll definitely take that one down and have a look at it. And Richard's just saying just I'm not sure what that was in regards of, but wink back to you there, Richard. Yeah, I don't know what that was for, but Russell saying, not my suggestion, but lunch was a little meal deal-esque. Everyone remembers the lunch, apparently. So, yeah, again, it wasn't exactly what we sort of paid for, to be honest with you. We've already spoken to the venue regarding that and in discussions with them, let's put it that way, because we paid hell of a lot of money for the food. I think the food budget took up pretty much about 75% of our costs, because you can imagine if you've ever had to organise a wedding and stuff for maybe 50 or 100 people, try doing it for 2 meals for 400 people. It adds up. And trust me, especially the evening meal. That was with beer as well. Right, so next one we got is... Richard says Jenny came up with an idea that those who are left at the end are issued tickets and then there's prizes drawn. That is one of the ideas we are looking at. So basically everyone who is left at the end of the day, they all get a ticket, and once that ticket's been used, then obviously they can't get another prize basically, so everyone gets a chance. But we'd have to look more into it to see. Obviously we don't want someone turning up at 5 minutes to the closing to win the biggest prize and so forth. So where's the link so your name can be shown? There we go. Give me a second. I'll stick it on the screen now for you. So it's basically chat.restream.io/Facebook, or FB, should I say. And I'll put it on the screen there for you so you can see it. There you go. Right. Next one is from Richard Creedy. Okay. Richard Creedy on about them all being alive. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we get it. The food, there was an issue, and well, okay, it was slightly out of our hands in the end because it wasn't exactly what we paid for. But again, we'll definitely be looking at that for next year. And as you can see, I'm mentioning next year quite a bit. Right, guys, do you have anything else you want to add in regarding TechMax as on last year before I move on to the next topic?
No, nothing. It's just well worth what it cost me to get there. Cost myself and Eve to get there, because for the amount of contacts you made to meet face to face, as in it was just really worth it, and worth it for the social life after as well. So yeah. Plus the lunch didn't bother me in the least. It was well worth it. Well worth it. You had lunch problems, I had to get Alison, Steve a coffee, and I had to walk 5 miles for it. So you have no problems. No, but that's not against you. It's just Sheffield in general doesn't have a coffee culture. But Steve got his coffee.
He did indeed.
He got it.
This coffee.
Yeah, one of the biggest issues we had was with balancing things, because originally when we planned the show to begin with, it was for 20 vendors for about 200 guests and an evening meal of 90. In the end, it ended up being 48 tables for vendors, ended up being around about 450 tickets were sold. I think in the end it was just shy of 400 who actually turned up, because obviously the train issues and so forth. And then the evening meal, I think it was for about 180, but again with the train issues we got about 165. So originally everything was supposed to be done in that one room, but because we had to expand, we then had to go upstairs, and then obviously then more people wanted to come to the evening meal. We had nowhere to go other than the other side of the stadium, so everyone had to walk all the way around the edge, which was a bit of a pain, to be honest with you. Wasn't a fan of it, but it was like either that or we're sitting outside in the car park eating our evening meals. So it was one of those options. Also, I think someone mentioned the hotel issues as well. The hotel, there should have been one ready at the ground. I forget the name of it, but it was being refurbished. It should have been open for Christmas, and it's still not been reopened. Obviously, they're blaming COVID and all this and so forth. But the next venue we're looking at, hotel will be sort of special deals and so forth. But we'll get more into that in a few minutes before I get ahead of myself. So. Right.
I'm laughing at David there. It felt like the walk of shame. Jesus,
Yes.
I tell you something, he's not going to write a comedy show tonight.
Yeah, I give Richard a lift as well. I chuck him in the back of the truck and just no, I didn't. I let him go in the passenger seat. But yeah, but right, okay, let's go on. This is more of an announcement rather than really a talking point, because some of you might get confused or whatever. I've already had one person bring it up, so I thought I'd just make it plain and clear. Tethertex, until the 1st of July, was trading as a sole trader business. So we have now turned it into a limited company. So the official name for Tethertex is actually Tethertex Group Limited. It's not going to change anything for anyone, to be honest with you. It's more just obviously accounting and stuff like that. Makes it easier for us and so forth. It's still owned by me and Jen. Jen's still the managing director or the boss. Well, she is with anything, to be honest with you. So the missus is the boss and I'm the slave, or should I say director of marketing or something along that lines. But anyway, so that's that bit. So it's a little thing. Anyone got any questions about that?
When are you moving to the Caymans to dodge tax?
Yeah, all our taxes are still done in this country. So I believe if you work in this country, you pay your taxes in this country and your money should be in this country. But again, that's another topic for another day. Now, the biggest one for us, we've had a really busy couple of weeks, obviously with the show and then obviously going limited. And now we've done something else. Yesterday, we closed our retail store. Okay. Some of you may have seen a slight glimpse of that on our Facebook page. This is so we can spend more time with Tethertex. We've got loads of things we're wanting to do. We're found in the retail store holding us back. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to be still keeping on a few maintenance contracts and stuff like that, where I'm going out to people and stuff like that who are good customers. And I want to keep doing that because it keeps me basically involved in the loop. I know what's going off technology-wise and so forth. So we have actually closed our retail store, which is Chips Computers, which was sort of a bittersweet day because obviously we've had the store quite a long time, been trading now, 17 years. So I had the store for 9 years. So bittersweet, but on to better things. A lot of the stock I'm keeping and so forth anyway. So we've been running stuff down. It's something we've been planning for quite a while because obviously Tethertex is growing a lot quicker than we expected. Originally, we were planning on closing the store in 2025 for our goals. I've got like a set goals, what I want to do every year. So we're actually 3 years ahead of ourselves and doing what we want to do. Obviously, a lot of that's down to you guys helping out, attending things like TechMax and so forth. So I do appreciate that. but it's also going to open up other opportunities for us. So once we've got everything sorted, because obviously we've got a whole shop to clear out and so forth, in probably the next couple of months, 3 months, we're going to be starting doing tours. So we're going to be coming visiting you guys, coming to see you, visit your shops. We may even get over to Ireland if they'll let us over there. Probably with some of my past comments, what I've said on the show about potatoes and different things like that, I'll probably get banned. But I might even come over to see Cormac at some point. But yeah, so we're going to be doing visiting. That's not just stores, maybe vendors, maybe distributors as well. So so we're going to actually go and basically do a bit of visiting and touring. It frees up a bit of time for us, gives us more time to spend with the Tethertex. We've got a lot of stuff to do in the studio, especially since Tethertex. So if anyone's got any questions about that, feel free. If anyone thinks it's because we're going bust or anything like that, it's definitely not that. It's we wanting to spend time on the Tethertex side rather than the retail store. I'm going to say, as we said, Tethertex has grown a lot bigger than we anticipated, is probably the best way to put it. And the community within the group, as in how everyone's getting on and so forth, we think it's absolutely brilliant. And a lot of vendors have caught on with that. So hopefully, with us spending more time, we're going to be able to get a few more things sorted with different vendors and distributors for you guys as well. So hopefully in the long term, it's going to basically benefit, well, everyone, or at least everyone in the group anyway. So, and that includes the vendors, distributors, as well as you guys. So that was that announcement. We have got another announcement as well. So the next announcement is the Tethertex Tech Awards will be starting soon. We have got a sponsor for that. It is PAX 8. They are delighted to sponsor the Tech Awards 2022, supporting growth to the tech community and championing success. Since launching in 2021, we're grateful to have won a number of awards across Europe. We know how important it is to how important it is to be recognized for what we're doing and be proud to support others who are making a difference. So that's the Tech Awards. So we had the awards last year. There was, I think it was 18 awards off the top of my head we gave out. We're going to be doing the same thing again this year. It is an online event. Basically, what will happen if you haven't taken part in the past, nominations will go through the Tethertex group and the website, and then voting will be basically a free-for-all for people to vote. And basically, the sponsors, who is PAX 8, will not be eligible for an award because we don't believe any sponsors for an award ceremony should be allowed to win an award, unlike some other ones what are out there. No comments there. But basically, the Tech Awards this year will be taking place later this year. It will be in early December. We'll give you an exact date closer to the time. And one more thing regarding the awards, because it was brought up, I'll say now, David, your wish is coming true. Okay, we are planning the awards next year to be at the actual event. Okay, so you get a proper ceremony and so forth there. Okay, so there you go, David. Again, as planning depends on how everything goes. I'm not going to say for definite, but everything is still in the planning process. It's only been 2 weeks since the last event, so just give us time to get everything organised. Right. Whew. I need a breath now, I think. Right, okay. So next topic is TechMax 2023. So we've just touched on that with the awards. We are going to be doing quite a few extra things on there, but obviously we want your ideas. I can't say exactly where it is yet because we've got to sign paperwork, blah, 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 blah. But it's looking like it'll be a similar sort of time next year. Similar time, similar area. Sorry, people from down south. It does mean you're going to have to travel a couple of hours in a car. But it's going to be basically in the similar sort of area, but not at the same venue. But the venue we are looking at, literally, give you a rough idea, the 3 rooms we had at the Sheffield United football ground, so Bramwell Lane, added up to 1,000 square metres. This venue, we are planning on hiring 4,000 square metres in total. So it's basically 4 times the size, okay? It's Yeah, we're planning quite a few things, including some sort of training sessions, demos, interactive systems as well. And even the venue itself has got its own form of entertainment as well. Well, I won't go much more into that because I'll be giving it away. One or two people have probably guessed already where it is in the past from posts I've put on Facebook, but I don't think they've 100% got it, but I think a few have. But what I want to know is what you guys expect to see at this year's, or should I say next year's TechMax. Is there anything you would like to see what we didn't have at this one? Is there certain things you would change and so forth? So it's a bit of a reversal of the first question. And I'm going to go to Alison first.
Oh, crumbs. You put me on the spot now.
Yeah. I can go to Will if you want. He put his
yes,
finger
please.
up. Yeah. Go on, Will. Go on, Will. Save the day.
Yeah, it would be nice to see more demos of different technology. A bit like my first thought went to CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. It's in Vegas. I've been to that before. I was fortunate to go to it, and it was amazing with demos, anything from drum kits right up to computers with technology, drones, the whole lot like that. And watching the demos of technology was pretty awesome, So that'd be nice to see more demos and things. That'd be good. More talks, different things like that, just to break it up. You're not going to get everyone going to a talk or a demo. You could break it up, and if it's going to be 4 times the size, that's sounding pretty good. Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I think
Okay,
you're quite right about the more talks, and I think some more instructional things, some more business things as well. Like maybe someone who's really good at SEO can do a live talk, and ways to improve your website, rather than sort of open board discussions where people can sit and take notes about what they can do and actually take away home and put into practice. That would be good.
I think we should just have a Cormac show on as well. Personally, he did really well on the show we did. The Tech Talk, what was it? What did I forget the name of it now? Getting more business or whatever it was.
Ramblings of an Irishman, I think.
That was it. I just sat back and just was like, hey, I'll let him carry on.
No, you could do a how to use TikTok, Cormac.
Oh, I'm still learning that
one. Actually, on a serious note, Cormac should go into marketing. Definitely, he's brilliant at it. He's really good at the marketing side of things. So, specialise in marketing, Cormac, and you can take over the world.
Well, yeah, I might be better at tech, considering Phil had to get my headset ready for it. Actually, you brought up some great points there. If they brought in people, experts in the field, the thing I would say about the talks, and I enjoy the talks. I didn't go to one of them because I was getting ready for my own talk, and I was a bit freaked, so I said I'll walk outside for a while. But I think the thing with talks, if you're going to get people in to do talks, okay, make them different than other places. As in give, like say you can have a talk for 30 minutes tops, because I personally feel that in a hot room like upstairs, or if it's the same type of time of year, it's enough for anyone. Even in I love the sound of my voice. So it's just beautiful, really. But the point is that even with you and I, you gave me 40 minutes. You gave us 40 minutes. Sorry, but I caught it then. That's it, 40 minutes. Even though we could talk for more, because I think if you get people to talk for half an hour, they will talk for half an hour. If you say you have 45 minutes. They will say in 45 minutes what they can say in 30 minutes. It'll get more people more interested. You get a turnover of things. But Alison's idea was actually very good, actually very good. There's an underlying compliment, sorry. But as Will, and those sort of conversations would be very good. You go there, you learn and move on. That would be a very good thing, because it's a long day to just walk around all the stalls as well. So to come up and do bullet points of intelligence would be the title of it. But then
Okay, definitely some good ideas there. I'm going to have to rewatch the show afterwards again to write them all down, basically, so I've got them on a piece of paper. But yeah, definitely more talks. Biggest issue we had was actually this year was getting unique talks, to be honest with you, trying to find, rather than someone just standing there saying, we have product A, B, C, that one's got lights, that one doesn't have lights, that one's got bigger feet, and whatever. That was the biggest difficulty we had. So what we do want more. fingers crossed, as long as everything goes to plan, we have got a slightly larger room just dedicated to talk, so you don't have to share it with the food and stuff like that at this year's event, as long as everything goes to plan. So yeah, so definitely, I do agree.
And you know what could be a bit of fun as well, but I would say speed networking is a bit of fun. Just different to speed dating to networking. It can be a bit of a laugh. I done it once. I don't think I ever particularly really want to do it again. But in a tech environment like that, it's actually not a bad thing. It gives people who are maybe shyer the opportunity to just do one table of it, and around you go. And I don't know. Actually, just scratch that. Just go with speed dating.
It's a good icebreaker.
Yeah, it's a good icebreaker. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. That does. But the question is how do you do that with potentially 800 people there?
Maybe you reserve it for the evening.
Yeah.
When you're sitting down, maybe it'll be easier to sort of
go around.
the tables or whatever.
You're on.
Yeah, I don't know, Phil, but that's what you close the shop to think about.
Yeah,
you have a year to think about it.
You're giving me problems rather than solutions here, aren't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, don't get me wrong. We have got a lot of things, ideas and stuff, and we're taking note of everything everyone says, because again, this event it's not for me and Jen, it's for you guys. That's why we wanted to put it on. We've seen shows in the past which we thought had been okay, and then we've seen other ones which are pretty rubbish. One thing I did like about the Tech Max show, was that community feel to it. A lot of events you usually go to a very corporate feeling, where it's like the guy's there in the suit, gives you a leaflet and tells you to basically bugger off so we can talk to someone else. Okay, probably doesn't say exactly that, but that's what a lot of them feel like. So it was nice to see that community feel. Everyone seemed to know everyone. There's people meeting and saying hi to each other who have not physically met in person before. I don't think I've met Will in person before. No, I've met Cormac before. I've met Alison at shows before, and different things. But and again, sorry if I didn't recognise who half of you were, but it was quite difficult to try and remember. I even mistakenly thought one of the vendors was someone else, and that she was getting married the next day. So that was a little bit embarrassing. But when you've got 400 people there, it can get a bit hectic sometimes. But it was
nice. As soon as I walked into the exhibition area, it was nice. I met Mr. Lawrence from Target standing there and introduced himself. And it was nice to see someone, reasonably high in the business world in Target without a shirt and tie on and just mingling with others. So that was quite nice of him to do that. So it was good.
It was a very nice nice guy. Actually, that was to be honest, everyone was very nice. That was really a plus in the football stadium afterwards, overlooking the ground. Was a plus. Also, I got a lovely mouse mat as well, which is all handy, which I'm using right there,
How much are giving you for doing that?
Oh yeah. Look, Alison, I can turn it over there. But, yeah. Oh yeah, I should be getting money for this. I got no mouse mat. Nothing.
I don't know. Let's have a look. Let's go through some of the comments. Let me just go back a little bit because there's been quite a few come in. So let's have a look. Raheem saying, my point about the YouTubers was that from a business point of view, YouTube is a big driver of sales and clients. I was surprised also chatting to people that they don't use TikTok or YouTube as much as they should for marketing. Totally agree with the YouTube side of things. You can do demos and stuff like that. I must admit myself, I haven't ventured too much into TikTok, mainly due to time. It might be something I'll be able to have a look at a little bit more so going forward. Now I've got a little bit more time. Well, it's not really more time on my hands, but I'm having to concentrate more on one business than two. So I know.
But this also goes back to what we were saying about having the instructional people doing the talks. If you know somebody that specialises and does really well at YouTube, then maybe invite them along to talk and explain how they do it and how it all works. So TikTok and YouTube could be a good guest, maybe.
No, Raheem was talking to me about YouTube, and I don't do YouTube and he's after convinced me to do YouTube, except I didn't have time. So Raheem's onto something there and just missing it. And maybe if there was someone there, as Alison said, with YouTube experience, happy days, Okay,
it's pretty good. So okay, guys, if you are watching and you have experience with these things, or you know someone who's got experience with these things, as in, I'm not talking about, oh, you do a little video every now and again and you get 10 people viewing them and stuff like that. I mean, like proper experience with it. Let me know. Send me an email. You've got my email address. If you don't, I'll stick it on the screen if I've got it. I should have it somewhere on one of my buttons. Here we go.
MKD.
So, there we go. So email over. So the people's details. You can basically, and we'll look into it. It's one of those things. I don't know everyone. We have tried getting SEO experts on the live show before, and twice we had them cancel at the last minute, so I had to jump on another show. So not everyone's cup of tea going on a live show or even being in front of people. It can be pretty nerve-wracking when you're standing up in front of 100 or more people sometimes. I don't know how Cormac was. I think that was his first public talk where you did it, but how did you find standing up in front of a load of people for the first time?
To be honest, I found it grand because I deliberately just went up and said, speak, I am who I am, as in, like, I didn't, it wasn't like a best man speech. I didn't write jokes. Never a best man anyway. But I was just go up, and it was like speaking to a crowd of people. It was grand because I knew them all from I knew people from before, and the way you presented it anyway, Phil, it really was. There was something about TechMax that was very casual. So I spoke on a subject I'm quite passionate about, marketing. I enjoyed it. So I enjoyed it immensely. I enjoyed it, and it got okay feedback, so I was really happy with it. And yeah, it went very well, you know.
Okay, that's pretty good. Let's go on to the next question then. Apparently, David can see his name now. Oh, very good, David. Congratulations on that one.
Sorry, 1 second there. Steve Garner's TikTok. Steve, what is your handle on your TikTok? We're using the word handle. What's your name at TikTok? I'd like to follow you. You might put that in the chat there if you don't mind.
I think Lee Lewis has said that Steve Garner on TikTok is good, so we need to search that one.
Look up Steve. There's a few of them as well. Finding that a lot of the mobile phone distributors
like
that seem to be pretty good at this sort of thing.
Thanks, Steve.
So yeah, definitely have a look at that. So David G. Withers felt like the walk of shame. Well, if you feel like that, David, maybe you've done something that make you a little bit guilty. Probably.
Yeah, what did you get up to it there, mate?
So let's have a look. Okay, so next was Neo Computers, the Abyss. That was 5 minutes walk away. Was great, budget room, but had aircon and shower, nice and clean, and only 40 quid. That's good.
The wrong one.
So that's good. We've got Peter saying he saw my Facebook post. Yeah, sad day. We'll miss bringing round tea. Okay, it doesn't say the name, but I have a feeling that's my mother because she likes to come round every day and bring a cup of tea round for you.
Hello, Mom. Hi, Mom.
So
Bill's mom.
She's there. So I think she's going to miss us more. So it's coincidentally, my parents live next door to where we have the shop, or had the shop, should I say.
That's the nicest door.
It would beneficial for deliveries and stuff. If we were closed, they'd get them, and vice versa. So, but there we go. So that's end of an era on that one, but we're starting a new one. So let's have a look. Okay, so Stevenson's are saying to my mum that they have plenty of tea and coffee that can come round. Okay, that's good. You can steal my parents if you want. So Russell says, I thought you could not have done better overall. Kudos to you and Jenny. We met some great contacts, customers, PR agents, and hopefully many individuals now realise what Lexar have to offer, along with i3i, our chosen independent supporting distributors. That bit of a self-plug there, Russell. But yeah, and talking about i3i and Russell, we actually have a live show with him next week. That's next Thursday at 8 o'clock. I'll tell you a bit more later on, but nice plug there, Russell. So Kunel's saying, happy for you and Jenny. Also good for Tethertex. Thank you very much. Next, we've got Steve. Great show, dedicated demo areas and organised inventory for demos and various exhibitors. Yeah, definitely something we are looking into. Once we've got the venue 100% signed up, we've got to then obviously do a few things. We've already got a few mock-up floor plans and stuff like that of how we want things to look. So And a few things we haven't mentioned yet, but we'll look at that. And we've got to get step 1 done first before we do step 10. So
with Steve there, Steve, show us the love and replace space. Give us all a shout out there. Tech for Techs, and all of us a shout out on your TikTok. Do a dance.
There you go. Right. Let's have a look. Could do the event over 2 days. There's possibility. Probably not this year, but I think the problem is with 2-day events is you've got to get the vendors interested in coming to 2 days and get enough people on both days to make it worthwhile. I think it's a bit of a stretch 2 days for a proper trade show rather than a consumer-based one. But there's only so many techs in the country, so we've got to make sure we get as many there and most interest on one day. But yeah, possibly to use the second day for networking, etc. Maybe organise something like I don't know, just a meetup, or even go to the local theme park or something like that for everyone. I don't know, something to think about. So. But there we go. So we've got Dean Jenkins saying evening all. We've got Jason saying we'll watch on replay as something has come up. Okay. I enjoyed the event. Was a little small. Not pick up and lunch wasn't great, but it was £1 and nobody can complain at that. Yeah, exactly, Jason. It's okay. We understand about the lunch. A little small. It's a lot bigger than it was going to be, let's put it that way. But yeah, we wanted to make it as cheap as possible for, obviously, you guys to attend, and that's still going to be the aim for next year, is to make it as cheap as possible. And in reality, the only reason we charged £1 or £2 for the evening is just to make sure people actually would attend and so forth, and they didn't just go on the website and says, yeah, I'm coming with 10 friends, and then never show up, and then we've got 10 people who just paid 20 odd quid per person just for the evening meal or whatever it is. It soon adds up, as you can imagine. So let's have a look. Jason, he's just saying, he's just obviously correcting himself there. That's fine. So we've got a good evening all from Facebook user. Again, if you haven't already, click the link I put in chat several times. I'll put it again just to make it easy for you, and you'll show your name. Let's have a look. We've got quite a few bits coming up. So we've got Sharon Richards here saying worth stating again, super show, especially because we got to visit with so many over the TFD group. If you guys don't know who Sharon Richards is, that's Eurosoft or PC Check, depending on how you want to call them. But she says having the chance to personally answer those questions on the PC Check and Zero Data Tools made all the difference. Thank you, Phil and Jenny, for our TFT something or other panel tonight for pulling out those new ideas. That's absolutely fine, Sharon. If you have any ideas as well, feel free to send them over. You know where we are. We spoke many times, and it was nice to meet you in person. Actually, I think it was the first time we met.
Nice to meet you.
We got Raheem saying about MKBHD has a masterclass.
That's on YouTube.
We'll have to have a look at that one. There we're getting. God, we've still got loads of things. TikTok is a huge driver for brand awareness for us. Hard to get right for business. Yeah, I agree there, Steve. It can be a bit, especially when you're aiming for other, obviously, vendors and stuff like that, rather than the consumer. Lee Lewis is saying TikTok should come from you. 1.5 million views on one RB video alone. Replace base, I'm presuming that is. TikTok, seriously undervalued as a business tool, but could really good showcase of products and prove concept. And is tagged in Repair Place. So there you go, self promotion there. Steve has got some great content. Yeah, we've gone through a lot of this. Midway breaks for mingling with a bit of a snack and chat. Agree on the panel. Speaking time to time limits to focus content. Yeah, we did actually have a limit of 45. Originally, it was going to be 30 minutes for the live shows. We were planning on a couple more in there for the talks. Unfortunately, those people dropped out, so we extended them to 45 minutes, basically to fill the gaps. So again, it will be something we'll be looking into. Whew, right, I'm going to need a breath in a minute, I think. Had one video hit almost 400k views, and other videos average around 400, blah, blah, blah. People misunderstand their video, being annoyed with it. Yeah, it's one of those things with social media. If you are going to do social media of any type, especially YouTube or videos, just watch out for the comments, because you can get some nasty gits on there, putting it politely. So you just have to ignore them. So we'll do next one up. We've got it was I was inviting you and Jenny when you go on tour. Oh, right. You're inviting me, not my parents. Okay, I'll tell my parents that they don't like you anymore.
Oh.
So, but yeah, you're inviting me and Jenny. Most welcome to bring your parents if you wish. Sorry about that. That's the thing with chat. Sometimes when you're reading it back 10 minutes after someone's commented, you get a bit mixed up. Neo will put that's going directly to Neo Computers. So I'll let you talk to yourselves. And let's have a look. So you need broad shoulder for the trolls. Yeah, you do. There are filters on a lot of social media, but again, you get all sorts of comments. I've had them all, to be honest, as you can probably imagine. So you just have to ignore them and get on with it. To be honest with you, there's not much you can do about that. Right, we're coming up to the hour, so I've just about managed to read everything. But let's just go round with Alison, Cormac, and Will again before we call it a night. So do you have any final thoughts, Alison, Will, or Cormac, that you would like to add, or any thoughts about anything at all regarding the event or anything?
I think all the comments that's been made tonight about talks and next year's event, I think, are absolutely fantastic. More talks, different things, and breaking it up, 30-minute breaks and things. That's a great idea. And finally, if anybody's touring Scotland or anywhere near there, remember to give me a shout. I'd be more than happy to meet up with anyone and show you take you around the tourist spots. So great. I had a great time. It was well worth it. It was nice to meet everybody, including David from Scorpion Computers. But it was a fantastic thing. So thank you very much to everyone involved.
Thank you for that, Will.
I agree. It was a brilliant show. I think my only sort of thing was that I wish I could have got to speak to more people. As an exhibitor, it's really, really busy because you've just got people constantly at you, and you can see, another 3 more that you want to go and chat to behind them, or walking around and seeing the other vendors. Again, something else I didn't really get a massive amount of time to do until quite late in the day. But yeah, absolutely wonderful. I agree with everyone's comments about the fact that it was very community-based. You didn't need to be a stranger at all there. There was always someone that you knew and recognised from the group. So, yeah, well done. It was a really great event.
Well, thank you for that, Alison. What about yourself, Cormac?
Well, I just remember something there, meeting people. Alison, didn't you agree to do a show at Neve there on customer service there some night on with you're doing so, Alison and Neve, who works with me, is doing a show, so I just pull off. I just say, what, Phil, we reading all the comments there, you and Jen obviously deserve all the congratulations, because there wasn't one negative comment. There wasn't any negative comments behind your back at the day. There was nothing. Everyone had a fabulous time. It's absolutely brilliant to see that you're moving on to the next step of your career. As I said, Tech for Tech is after making us all money, every single one of us. So it's actually beautiful to watch it grow. And we know you're on it. Your head brain is on it the whole time and everything. And it's beautiful being around people, professionals like this, because there's something about being around us all, where, we all have our own businesses. We all try really hard, and it was great being among that mix. So, look, I just want to say, well done, Phil. Pat yourself, and Jen, pat yourself on the back tonight. So thank you. I think speaking on behalf of us all, we all had a great time. Now that's the end of it, Phil. I'm back to taking the mick out of you, man. That's it. Finished.
There we go. That's it.
I'm back to it again. All right. So thank you very much indeed.
I promise not to mention any leprechauns for a little while for you.
I didn't even bring up Boris Johnson for the whole show. That's how good I was.
That's brilliant. So yeah, totally agree with a lot of stuff, especially what Eurosoft's saying. Totally agree. Alison was right on it with not enough time to visit everyone. I think I worked out the amount of time I actually had there and the amount of people. I would actually spend something like 21 seconds with every single person if I was to speak to everyone. So if I didn't say hi to you or didn't speak to you, or it looked like I ignored you or not recognized you or anything like that, no, don't take any offense. I was rushing around like a headless chicken at some point. So if I didn't get a chance to talk to you or even didn't recognize you because I'm used to seeing you look like a dog or a cat on Facebook, then that's probably why. So, okay, so nothing against you or anyone personally. A few people have said, "Oh, I saw you on the day, but you didn't see me." I was like, "Sorry, I just completely didn't see you. Too busy concentrating on trying to get everything working as it should be." But yeah, so basics, guys. I'm going to leave it at that. But before we go, right at the end, don't log out too soon because I'm going to have a little video to play for you. Okay, just might give you a little bit of a. But before I do that, I'm going to say thank you to Alison, thank you to Will and Cormac, especially these guys for being on tonight. But not only that, for obviously the help they've given at the event, as well as some little gifts and so forth, which they shouldn't have sorted out and so forth as well. So obviously Cormac did a lot of talking as well. He liked talking, so I don't think that was much of an ask, to be honest with you. I think he would have jumped up on stage even if he wasn't invited. But but thank you guys, it's really appreciated. You didn't need to, and again, anyone else who's watching who obviously did anything like that, where it's flowers, chocolates, whatever, thank you. You shouldn't have. Obviously we're running this event for you guys. You don't really need to give us gifts, but thank you, it's appreciated. Right, before we go, if you want to join Tethertex, you can see the link going across the screen at the moment. You just go to tethertex.co.uk/join. Make sure you click obviously the button what says join and you fill in the questions or the answers to the questions. Otherwise we won't let you in. You'll join over 1,400 other techs like you, vendors, distributors. You know the drill. If you want to join up, click it. It's free. We don't charge you. Totally free. No pennies, nothing, no subscriptions or anything like that. So just join up. Otherwise, next week we'll be on live at 8 p.m. We do have i3i Distribution, which does have a few of their vendors with them as well, including Lexar, who you've seen Russell George commenting a few times. You've got Techware and a few others as well. They will be on next week at 8 p.m. So make sure you tune in if you're interested in a new distributor and you're wanting to see who they are, what they are, where they come from. Then they're the ideal people to tune into and watch next week. Right, otherwise I'd like to say thank you for everyone for watching. We'll see you next week, and I'm going to leave you with this little video, and I'll speak to you right after the video. See you next time, everyone.
Bye.
See you later.
Cheerio.